As the seasons start to change and the weather gets a little bit colder, I find myself wanting to do things to make my home feel a little bit more cozy. And there are so many simple ways that you can take even the most basic apartment or home and add those special touches that warm up a space for the season. Good morning, guys, and welcome to my channel. It's been a bit of a slow morning today, which I feel like I needed, and I really think it's just because the seasons are starting to change. It's getting a little bit cooler outside, and I really want to do some things to make my apartment feel a little bit more cozy, and I thought I'd bring you guys along with me as we do some tips and tricks and obviously some DIYs to get ready for the colder weather and make everything just feel cozy and a little more comfortable. So I'm going to enjoy my tea, and then you'll head over with me to the kitchen for our first project. That was a loud sip, and it's hot.
Is it good?
It's good.
Okay.
I couldn't taste it. It just tasted like heat. One of the easiest and best ways to really start making your apartment or home feel a little bit cozier for the change of the seasons is by bringing in some warmer lighting and candle lighting. And so I thought it'd be so much fun to DIY our own candles. Now, I have done it before here on the channel, but I haven't done it kind of the right way. So I picked up a candle making kit off of Amazon. And this is going to help us make sure that we do all of the steps properly to make some really nice candles. And I thought to really elevate these candles would be to use some thrifted glass containers. I've been seeing this as a trend, and I've been seeing it all over my Pinterest, as well as some of the higher end stores of candles being put in really pretty vessels like this. And so I thought I could go thrift some for a couple of dollars and then make my own candles. So let's give this a try and see if we can make some really nice cozy scents. The very first thing you need to do is make sure that all of your thrifted glassware is nice and clean. Remove any of the dirt, the stickers, and things like that to get these nice and prepped to become candles. I'm using a kitchen food scale to help me in this candle making process, and I weighed out 8 ounces of some soy wax, and this came with my candle making kit that I got off of Amazon. Now you're going to want to use a pan that you don't care about too much. I thrifted this one specifically for candle making. I put a little bit of some water in the bottom of the pan and then added in my measuring cup that is full of the wax because we're going to be doing a double boiler method. And I stirred the wax periodically to get all of the pieces to melt, and then also was making sure to use the thermometer that came with the kit to ensure that I was heating the wax and melting the wax to the proper temperature. Now I'm following the instructions in the kit that I purchased, and it said that the ideal temperature was between 135 and 195. So I followed that, making sure to heat it until all of that wax was melted. After I got it to that desired temperature, I removed the wax from the double boiler and out onto a trivet to start to cool. And while I was waiting on that, I prepped my candle jars and added in the wicks. My candle making kit said that the best temperature to add the essential oils for the fragrance was 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So I followed that very specifically, waited until it reached that temperature before adding in my scent. For the first 2 candles, I decided to use a combination of brown sugar and vanilla scent out of this little kit that I purchased also off of Amazon, because I thought that would be a nice, warm, cozy, homey scent for the fall and winter. And for the larger candle, I had to mix up its own batch of wax and went with forest pine because I knew that was going to give me a really nice Christmassy scent. And I absolutely love how these turn out and how they look once they are lit and the light kind of bounces through the beautiful glass of these containers. And it just feels really good to have made something on my own and have that beauty and warmth for the season. Candles can add a warm, cozy scent to your home. Another way that you can make your home feel really nice and smell really good for the change of seasons is with a simmer pot. I love to make these and put fresh things in it and have just that scent that just goes all day long, and you can use it for multiple days, which is such a bonus. And I just love this too because you know you're not putting anything that's like toxic into the air by doing it. It's just really, really nice. I'm gonna show you one of my favorite recipes with some of my favorite ingredients, but I love that these are also just really customizable. You're going to need a nice big pot full of water to start out for this simmer pot. And then I collected a variety of different ingredients that I knew would smell really nice together. So for this simmer pot recipe, you're going to need a few slices of lemon, a few slices of an orange, and a few slices of an apple. Now you can start adding in different herbs and spices. I'm adding in some rosemary to start because I just love the scent of fresh rosemary. I also added in 2 bay leaves, then put in some cinnamon sticks, some cloves, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And all you need to do next is heat this on medium to low until it starts to simmer, and then you could just leave this on your stove all day long, of course adding more water as needed, and it will fill your home with such a beautiful scent. As you can see, I am definitely a layered blanket girly when it comes to the bed, and I just can't believe it's finally time to bring out the duvet and add that extra layer. And because I definitely am always cold, I thought, you know what, another great way to cozy up a space is with adding more warmer blankets and textiles into a room, and I wanted to make my own blanket. Now, you guys probably have seen those tie blankets using the fleece, and as much as I think those are nice and cozy and warm, I don't think they're the most cute aesthetically as far as like if you're trying to style it in a room or something like that. So I came up with my own version, which is a no sewing machine required method to make a fleece blanket. So let me show you what we're gonna be making. From the fabric store, I picked up some Sherpa as well as some fleece fabric that of course was on sale, and I had a coupon for to help cut down the price and make this not so expensive. And what I'm going to first do is line up my 2 layers of fabric with the good sides facing out, and then you may need to trim your fabric down as needed. I got 2 yards of both fabrics. Now what we're going to use is a blanket stitch. This is such a great way to join some fabric together in a way that does not require a sewing machine, and also then you're not having to do a tie blanket method. It creates a very finished look on all of the edges of this blanket that we're going to make. So I started by tying a knot at the end of my coordinating yarn and pulling that through the bottom layer of the fabric until it held into place. Now I have never done a blanket stitch before until filming this video, other than a couple little practices, and I honestly do not consider myself a good hand sewer. So when I tell you that this was so easy, I promise you it really was. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your yarn and put it through a yarn darner, poke it through the back side of your fabric and all the way through to the front side, and pull it until you have a little loop. Then you can take your needle and loop it through, as you can see, and just pull back, and then you can start adding the next stitch all the way down the blanket. I honestly feel like I'm not very good at explaining how to do this, so I will be sure to link the tutorial that I followed to learn how to make this blanket stitch below, because it seriously was so well explained, and I felt like that I had this down after doing a couple stitches. Honestly, I kind of enjoyed doing something like this. It is a time-consuming project. I am not going to lie to you right now if you do this method, and especially because I chose to do some smaller blanket stitches. But I promise you the payoff is beautiful. It just took me a couple different nights where I sat down when I was watching TV and just worked on stitching this all together. Another way that you can really add something to your apartment or your home as the seasons change is to play around a little bit with some of the seasonal trends. And that's definitely something that I like to do sometimes, especially in a way that you can DIY it and make it yourself, because I feel like you get to save a little bit of money and you also get to just have a little fun making some sort of craft project. One trend that I've been loving playing with lately is adding bows to things. I think it's super cute and adorable, and I also think it's just another way to add a little textile into a room, cozy things up. And so I thought we could do a little bit of an art swap, add in some moodier art into the room, but also incorporate that bow trend. I picked up two really pretty ribbons for this project, a nice brown satin and a burgundy velvet ribbon, and I think that these are going to complement really well with the art prints that I picked out. So I'm using two frames that I actually already had on hand, which I love about this because I'm able to just play with some trends and not spend a whole lot of money. And I placed my art inside. I'm actually putting it in front of the glass just to eliminate some of that glare and also give it a little bit more of that painting look. For this larger and first frame, this one's going to be the easiest one to do to add that bow look. All you have to do is hook it right through the hanging hardware, the hanging bracket that is going to be on the back of your frame. Whether it is a D-ring like this one, or even if it's one of those kind of tooth looking clips, it should work where you can just thread that ribbon through and tie it into a bow, leaving room so that you can hang it up on the wall, as you see what I'm doing right here. This next frame is going to be a little different because I wanted the bow to kind of be the hanger for the piece. So I added two D-rings to the back of this frame, just using some hot glue and holding it in place. This did work just fine, but you could also, if you have a wood frame, possibly use a little teeny screw to hold those in for some extra security. I'm then looping my ribbon through like so. You can kind of see what I'm doing right here, pulling it through the back like that, and then bringing it up to tie it into a bow at the top. So that way this bow is kind of up above and it'll look like the bow and then the frame hanging down from it. This is such a simple project, but I really love the look of it, and I think it just looks so pretty in the bedroom just like this, hanging up on the wall, and brings in some of those cozier colors and some of those fall and winter trends, and I absolutely adore this, and I think I'm just gonna keep these pieces here year round. It kind of filled a blank space on the wall that definitely needed something there. If you want to find some ways to add some DIY charm and character for your space, then I recommend you check out this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one and got some DIY inspiration to help you make your home a little bit cozier as we enter the fall and winter months. There's a lot more content for the seasons to come, so if you don't want to miss it, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!